The Bank of England just now decided, not unexpectedly, to hold rates where they were at 5.25%. And it just has kind of hammered home this point that we keep talking about, which is we keep thinking this is going to get started. The SNB, Swiss National Bank, is saying, let's go. And everyone else is like, we just aren't sure, Danny.
Well, some of the confusion is in the language we're hearing from central bankers themselves. Of course, we won't literally hear from the BOE today because of the election. They're in a blackout period. But looking at this, BOE notes upside news on service inflation, weak core goods, but in the same breath says some downplayed the threat from services CPI and the wage hikes. So even they can't get it together. Even they don't have a clear message that makes us confused and makes us wonder, when is this cutting cycle beginning?
Well, and Andrew Bailey, the head of the Bank of England, saying that they need to be sure inflation will stay low. This is a whole question on confidence. We'll get to Lizzie Burden in just a moment to break down all of the headlines. At the time when it basically came in as expected, a 7-2 split vote, which is what people were broadly looking for. But this comes at a time, and Annmarie, this is really the key issue that we see the Bank of England also grappling with. We're sort of staring into the sun, as Lori Calvasina says, when it comes to some of the geopolitical risks, the internal political risk. Central bankers want to say it doesn't matter, but it's very hard to say that when ultimately who gets elected will really have a big influence on the fiscal overhang and what the deficit looks like.
Absolutely. And they're coming out today saying the timing of the election, the UK election, which is going to be July 4th, didn't interfere with their decision today. They said it wasn't relevant. I think that's a little bit hard to believe, because to say that political election is not going to take up space in this debate on when the trajectory of the country feels fraught and difficult. But it's the same debate people are having here in the United States, but even some saying potentially we'll get a rate cut the day after the U.S. presidential election.